Welcome to our channel Inspirational People. Today, we are back with an exciting story of the legendary country music and pop star. As you enjoy it, please subscribe and click that bell to get notified whenever we post new videos, and lastly give it a thumbs up. When people hear the name Kenny Rogers, they often think of his rich, soulful voice or the life lessons wrapped in the lyrics of The Gambler. But beyond the fame and the music lay a man of extraordinary resilience, humility, and heart. Kenny Rogers' journey from the streets of Houston to becoming one of the most celebrated artists in history is not just a story of success, it's a testament to the power of dreams and the strength to rise above adversity. Kenny Rogers was more than just a country music icon, he was a storyteller whose songs transcended genres, generations, and boundaries. With his husky, golden voice and soulful lyrics, he became a beacon of inspiration for millions. His journey from humble beginnings to international stardom is a testament to resilience, humility, and the power of pursuing one's dreams. Kenny grew up in a poor family that often struggled to make ends meet. The Rogers household was filled with love and music, despite their challenges. As a child, Kenny would sit by the radio, listening intently to the voices of legends like Nat King Cole and Hank Williams. Little did he know that one day, his own voice would inspire countless others in the same way. Kenny's path to success was far from linear. It was a winding road filled with trials, failures, and moments of doubt. Yet, through it all, he remained steadfast in his belief that music could heal, connect, and uplift. From his early days with the first addition to his solo career that birthed timeless hits like The Gambler and Islands in the Stream, Kenny's life was a masterclass in perseverance and reinvention. But Kenny Rogers' story is not just about fame and fortune. It's about the man behind the music, the father, the philanthropist, and the dreamer. It's about how he used his platform to make a difference, touching lives with his generosity and wisdom. Above all, it's a story about how one person can overcome obstacles to leave an indelible mark on the world. In this narrative, we will delve into the pivotal moments that defined Kenny's life, the lessons he learned along the way, and the legacy he left behind. His story is not just his, it's a reminder to all of us that with passion, persistence, and heart, we too can achieve greatness. Kenny Rogers was born into modest circumstances in Houston, Texas, on August 21, 1938. As the one of the 7 children, life in the Rogers household was far from easy. His father, Edward Floyd Rogers, worked as a carpenter, while his mother, Lucille, took care of the children and worked as a nurse's assistant. Despite their struggles, the family found joy in simple pleasures. Music was an integral part of their lives. On weekends, Lucille would hum gospel songs, and the family would gather around the radio to listen to country legends like Hank Williams. Little Kenny often dreamt of using music to escape his challenging reality, though it seemed like a far-off dream. Kenny Rogers grew up in the tough streets of Houston, Texas, as the 4th of 8 children in a working-class family. His father, a carpenter, struggled with alcoholism, and his mother worked tirelessly to keep the family afloat. Despite their hardships, Kenny described his childhood as loving and filled with strong family values. As a young boy, Kenny discovered his passion for music, often humming along to gospel hymns and country songs that played on the family radio. He saved up to buy his first guitar and spent hours teaching himself to play. Though life was far from easy, music became his refuge and the dream he clung to when times were hard. By the time he was in high school, Kenny had joined his first band, The Scholars, where he began experimenting with his unique sound. It wasn't long before he realized that his voice, with its rare combination of grit and warmth, was his greatest gift. After high school, Kenny dabbled in various music genres, trying to find his place in the ever-changing music scene of the 1950s and 60s. He started with jazz in the Bobby Doyle Trio, moved to folk with the New Christy Minstrels, and eventually joined the First Edition. Each step was a building block, teaching Kenny the importance of versatility and perseverance. It was with the First Edition that Kenny got his first taste of fame. The group's breakout hit, Just Dropped In, To See What Condition My Condition Was In, showcased Kenny's raw vocal power and began to put his name on the map. However, as the band's popularity faded, Kenny faced a critical decision. Would he risk it all to pursue a solo career? Kenny's choice to go solo was a gamble, but one that paid off immensely. It set the stage for him to become a household name. In 1974, Rogers left the group to go solo again and decided to focus his energy on country music. Love Lifted Me became his first solo top 20 country hit in 1975. 2 years later, Rogers reached the top of the country charts with the mournful ballad Lucille, about a man being left by his wife. The song also did well on the pop charts, making it into the top 5 and bringing Rogers his first Grammy for Best Country Vocal Performance, Male. Quickly following up on this success, Rogers released The Gambler in 1978. The title track was again a huge country and pop hit and gave Rogers his second Grammy. He also showed his tender side with another popular ballad, She Believes in Me. Kenny, 1979, featured such hits as Coward of the County and You Decorated My Life. Around this time, he wrote the advice book Making It with Music, Kenny Rogers' Guide to the Music Business, 1978. In addition to his solo work, Rogers recorded a series of hits with country legend Dottie West. The two reached the top of the country charts with Every Time Two Fools Collide, 1978, All I Ever Need Is You, 1979, and What Are We Doing in Love, 1981. Also in 1981, Rogers held the #1 spot on the pop charts for 6 weeks with his version of Lionel Richie's Lady. By this time, Rogers was a true crossover artist, enjoying enormous success on both the country and pop charts and collaborating with such pop stars as Kim Carnes and Sheena Easton. Turning to acting, Rogers starred in television movies inspired by his songs, like 1980's The Gambler, which spawned several sequels, and 1981's Coward of the County. On the big screen, he played a race car driver in the comedy Six Pack, 1982. In 1983, Rogers scored one of the biggest hits of his career, a duet with Dolly Parton called Islands in the Stream. Written by the Bee Gees, the tune went to the top of both the country and pop charts. Rogers and Parton won the Academy of Country Music Award for Single of the Year for their efforts. In the same year, Kenny Rogers made a song We've Got Tonight with Sheena Easton, which had become a timeless hit. After this, Rogers continued to thrive as a country music performer. Among the hits from this period is his duet with Ronnie Milsap, Make No Mistake, She's Mine, which won the 1988 Grammy Award for Best Country Vocal Performance, Duet. One of Kenny's most iconic songs, The Gambler, wasn't just a chart-topping hit, it became a metaphor for his life and career. The lyrics, You've got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, resonated with millions as a life lesson about risk, resilience, and adaptability. For Kenny, The Gambler reflected the choices he had made throughout his journey. He had faced failures, taken risks, and embraced reinvention time and again. The song's universal message made it a timeless classic, inspiring people from all walks of life. Kenny often said that the lessons in The Gambler shaped his philosophy. Life is about playing the hand you're dealt, making the best of it, and knowing when to walk away with grace. While Kenny's music brought him fame, his heart for giving back defined him as a person. He supported numerous charities, focusing on children's hospitals, hunger relief, and disaster recovery. He also raised millions of dollars through benefit concerts, especially during the holiday season. Kenny's philanthropic efforts extended beyond financial contributions. He often visited children's hospitals and spoke about the importance of kindness and community. For him, success wasn't just about what he achieved but about the lives he touched along the way. Kenny's personal life was as colorful as his career. He married 5 times and admitted that balancing fame and family was a challenge he often struggled with. Despite his failed marriages, Kenny remained a devoted father to his children, whom he described as his greatest source of joy and purpose. In his later years, Kenny openly reflected on his mistakes and the lessons he learned. He spoke about the importance of prioritizing relationships and finding peace within oneself. His humility and willingness to share his struggles made him relatable and beloved by fans around the world. In addition to music, Rogers also demonstrated a passion for photography. Images that he took while traveling around the country were published in the 1986 collection Kenny Rogers America. Music is what I am, but photography would probably be second, he later explained to People magazine. The following year, Rogers published another collection called Your Friends and Mine. Continuing to act, Rogers appeared in such TV movies as Christmas in America, 1990, and Mac Shane, Winner Takes All, 1994. He also began exploring other business opportunities, and in 1991 he launched a restaurant franchise called Kenny Rogers Roasters. He later sold the venture to Nathan's Famous Incorporated in 1998. That same year, Rogers created his own record label, Dreamcatcher Entertainment. He also starred in his own off-Broadway Christmas show, The Toy Shop, around that time. Releasing his next album, She Rides Wild Horses, in 1999, Rogers enjoyed a return to the charts with the hit The Greatest, which told the story of a boy's love of baseball. He scored another hit with Buy Me a Rose off the same album. In 2004, Rogers and his fifth wife, Wanda, welcomed twin boys Jordan and Justin in July, just a month before his 66th birthday. They say that twins at my age will either make you or break you. Right now I'm leaning towards break. I would kill for the energy they've got, Rogers, who already had 3 older children from his previous marriages, told People magazine. That same year he published his children's book, Christmas in Canaan, which was later turned into a TV movie. In 2009, he celebrated his long career with Kenny Rogers, The First 50 Years, a musical retrospective. By that point, he had recorded dozens of albums and sold more than 100 million copies worldwide. In 2012, Rogers published the autobiography Luck or Something Like It. He received recognition for his substantial musical contributions in 2013 when he was inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame. At the CMA Awards held that November, he also received the Willie Nelson Lifetime Achievement Award. Some of country's top performers turned out to honor Rogers, including Jennifer Nettles and Darius Rucker. That same year Rogers released the album You Can't Make Old Friends, followed in 2015 by the holiday collection Once Again It's Christmas. Starting in December and going into 2016, the iconic singer-songwriter embarked on what he announced as his farewell tour. In April 2018, after Rogers pulled out of a scheduled performance at Harrah's Cherokee Casino Resort in North Carolina, the casino announced on Twitter that the singer was canceling the remaining dates of his final tour because of a series of health challenges. I've thoroughly enjoyed this opportunity to say farewell to the fans over the course of the past 2 years on the Gambler's Last Deal tour, said Rogers in a statement. I could never properly thank them for the encouragement and support they've given me throughout my career and the happiness I've experienced as a result of that. Though his health began to decline, Kenny faced his final years with the same grace and optimism that had defined his life. On the evening of March 20, 2020, Kenny Rogers passed away peacefully at his home in Sandy Springs, Georgia, at the age of 81. Surrounded by his family and under hospice care, his death was attributed to natural causes. His family released a heartfelt statement. Kenny Rogers passed away peacefully at home from natural causes under the care of hospice and surrounded by his family. Kenny touched the lives of millions with his music and his heart. He will be missed but never forgotten. For the millions of fans who had come to love him not just as an artist but as a person, the news was met with a mix of sorrow and gratitude. The world mourned the loss of a legend, but there was solace in knowing that Kenny had lived a full and meaningful life, leaving behind a legacy that would endure forever. Kenny Rogers passed away during the early months of the COVID-19 pandemic, a time when public gatherings were heavily restricted. His family chose to hold a private ceremony to honor his life, respecting both his wishes and the safety of those mourning his loss. Despite the limitations, the outpouring of love and tributes from fans and friends around the globe was overwhelming. Kenny's music filled the airwaves, and social media was flooded with memories, favorite songs, and heartfelt messages of gratitude. Musicians, actors, and public figures paid tribute to Kenny's remarkable life and career. Dolly Parton, Kenny's longtime duet partner and dear friend, delivered an emotional tribute. I loved Kenny with all my heart. My heart is broken, and a big old chunk of it has gone with him today. But I know he's in a better place, and I'm sure he's singing with the angels. Lionel Richie, who wrote one of Kenny's biggest hits, Lady, shared his grief. Today I lost one of my closest friends. So much laughter, so many adventures to remember. My heart is broken. My prayers go out to Kenny's family. Fans across the globe remembered Kenny as more than just a singer. For many, his songs were the soundtrack of their lives, filled with wisdom, comfort, and inspiration. Radio stations played his greatest hits in tribute, and his music dominated streaming platforms as listeners sought solace in the familiar melodies that had once brought them joy. In accordance with Kenny's wishes, his funeral was a private affair attended only by close family and friends. The intimate ceremony, held in Georgia, reflected the simplicity and humility that Kenny embodied throughout his life. Though the details of the ceremony were kept private, those who attended described it as heartfelt and personal. Kenny's children shared fond memories of their father, painting a picture of a man who, despite his fame, prioritized family and love above all else. A small selection of Kenny's most cherished songs played during the service, including Through the Years and The Gambler, serving as a reminder of the timeless wisdom and emotion he shared with the world. While the funeral was private, fans around the world created their own ways to honor Kenny's memory. Social media became a virtual memorial, with people sharing videos, photos, and personal stories of how his music had touched their lives. Television networks aired documentaries and special tributes to celebrate his career, while musicians performed covers of his greatest hits in honor of his legacy. Notably, a virtual concert featuring country music stars like Dolly Parton and Brad Paisley brought fans together to celebrate Kenny's life through song. In the weeks following his passing, fans visited his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and left flowers, notes, and mementos. A similar outpouring of love was seen at his statue in his hometown of Houston, Texas, where the community came together to remember the boy who had risen from humble beginnings to touch the world. Kenny Rogers' death marked the end of an era, but his influence continues to shine brightly. His songs remain timeless treasures, offering wisdom and comfort to new generations of listeners. The private nature of his funeral, coupled with the global tributes, spoke to the duality of his life. Kenny Rogers was both a family man and a global icon, a man who lived simply despite his immense success. As the world said goodbye to Kenny Rogers, one thing became clear: his voice, his stories, and his spirit would live on forever. Whether through the timeless lyrics of The Gambler, the tender love of Lady, or the nostalgia of Islands in the Stream, Kenny's music continues to inspire hope, resilience, and love. Kenny Rogers left behind a legacy that transcends music. His songs continue to inspire, his philanthropy lives on through the lives he touched, and his story remains a beacon of hope for dreamers everywhere. From The Gambler to Lady, his music is a timeless reminder of the power of storytelling and the human spirit. Kenny's journey proves that no matter where you start or what obstacles you face, it's possible to rise above and leave a lasting impact on the world. Kenny Rogers wasn't just a country music legend, he was a storyteller, a philanthropist, and an inspiration. His life, filled with ups and downs, reminded us that success is about resilience, passion, and staying true to yourself. Through his music, Kenny Rogers taught us to dream big, embrace change, and live with purpose. His legacy is not just in the songs he sang but in the lives he touched and the hope he inspired. As he once sang in Through the Years, "I can't remember when you weren't there, when I didn't care for anyone but you." For fans worldwide, Kenny Rogers will always be there, a voice of comfort, wisdom, and inspiration for generations to come. That's the inspirational story of Kenny Rogers. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel Inspirational People to help us make more videos like this.